Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing very, very well. So today I actually wanted to do online live human design session with a client, and just for those who are interested to find out more about human design and also what does it actually mean to live according to their strategy, how they natively designed to use their energy to navigate through challenges, attract opportunities with less resistance, and show up in their full potential, then I invite you to stay here, as now I'm going to be doing a live video with a manifesting generator who has an emotional authority. So I'm just going to bring it here. This is my first live. Just going to invite. Yay, and I can see you.
Hello. It worked in the
Okay.
end.
I did have this kind of a idea. Maybe the reason why I didn't see you because we were in a practice mode trying to figure it out, but in a live mode, then it works. And I think that's what happens. Yeah.
Possible. Yeah, it's possible. Instagram
Yeah.
asked me if I want to grant access to the camera, which I didn't see when we were doing the practice run.
Oh,
So,
I see. It always
yeah.
works out when the time is right. Excellent. Cool. So I'm really super excited to go more deeper into human design. I know we had a session a while ago, but I guess it's not something, unless you practice it, right, you forget the nitty-gritty things of it. So I just wanted to go over it again, and I've got your chart in front of me. So I'm just going to, for those who are joining live or going to watch this on replay, I just wanted to introduce what human design is, because over the last few days, I've been getting quite a few messages saying, it's so interesting, what is this? And so basically human design, kind of like an astrology, is based on a date, time, and place of birth. And it generates your body graph, your energetic blueprints, which is the map to your self-awareness, to the highest potentials that you can achieve in your life, how you're designed to show up in a world, to navigate through obstacles and challenges with more ease and more grace, and make correct decisions. So there is also like an esoteric side of it. And, then we're talking about connecting with your life purpose, your soul purpose, and so much more. So this is kind of more astrology part. But for today, I really wanted to focus more on energy and overwhelm and stress, because I know so many people are struggling with it. There's just like a massive pressure on us, as entrepreneurs to perform, to achieve that next level in career, business, being busy moms like we both are. It takes even more energy away from us. So how do you actually stay in your zone, in your power, in your center? How do you cultivate energy from within so that you can really show up as your best self, right? And it's also best for your family and your clients. So at its highest level, there are 5 energy types in human design. And I'm going to be only talking today about your type, which is a manifesting generator. So based on a previous conversation, do you remember what it even means, like being a manifesting generator?
Not
No.
much, to be honest.
Okay, all right, that's great. What I'm going to do is I will kind of talk about it and then see, which parts of it resonate with you the most. And also,
Lena,
yeah, can you see me?
I can. The video froze for maybe 15 seconds.
Oh, no, but you can see me and hear me now.
I can see you now, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So as a manifesting generator and generator, so those two energy type, they actually make up the majority of population. There's a few differences between a generator and manifesting generator, but both these types, I'm a generator, by the way, but both these types, we kind of start our day with this like engine, this like motor propeller within us, where we're pretty much ready to jump out of bed most of the days. and to face the world. And there's nothing we cannot do. We've got this like motto running within us. We are the worker bees, the builders of the world. So when you look at the different energy types, you get energetic types like generators and manifesting generators, and all the other types, they are not energy. So we are both energetic types. And even though we can get up and go and do anything, it's still, we need to cultivate that energy from within us because we don't get recharged from people outside of us. And that sometimes becomes really difficult because in the job or with the kids and at home, everybody wants piece of you.
That's
Now,
right.
one
Yeah.
thing to really understand, right? We all have this auric field, we all have the energy field around us, and every type will have a different way on how they send out and how they receive energy. So, for the generators and manifesting generators, our aura is very open. It's almost like magnetizing. And when we love what we do, when we're passionate about our business, our family, whatever it is that lights you up, people simply can't get enough of you because it's really, really attractive. And it's almost to the point where they kind of project themselves onto you. It's like, and they want to be in your energy. So for us, it's really important to really understand who do we want in our field and who we don't want, because it can be draining. So as a manifesting generator, you not really suitable to work on one thing at a time, right? Which I find quite interesting because as society, like when you condition, right, when you grow up, you're told to finish this one thing and don't start something else until you finished it. And it's actually a wrong use of your energy. Can you relate to that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't do one thing at once. Whether it's my work or it's housework or something to do with family, I just, it kind of, it's interesting what you're saying. I would like to find a way to manage it better because it can be overwhelming and kind of disruptive sometimes. But I do have this urge. I literally have to make myself a list in the morning and have like 3 things written. And every time I distract and start doing something else, I need to go back to that list, bring myself back to what I wanted to do. So yeah, I'm absolutely multitasking all the time. Whether I do everything to completion is a different, it's a different
And you
story.
don't
But
need to. And that's the thing. So, for example, like manifestors, because you have an energy from a generator and from manifestor. So, as a manifestor, for example, you have that initiating energy, but you're not necessarily going to have an energy to complete it, which is why they make this great, like, leaders. They're there to initiate the movement, to get the right people behind them, and then they move on to the next one. And it's very similar for you in that respect. But when it comes to managing your energy effectively, there are two strategies that manifestors should really obey or abide by. The first strategy is never initiate. It's always to respond. And we always responding to something. It can be something small, like you think maybe, oh, I want to create this post, right, for your business. And instead of sitting there and thinking, what would my audience like to hear? You may be scrolling on Instagram and something like jumps out at you, right? Or you put a TV on, or maybe your husband says something to you, maybe like, you chat to your friend and you're like, that's what I want to do because you're responding. But if you have to sit in front of your laptop and like go, you may get crickets, or you will literally just be stuck in your head, completely overthinking it. And that's very important to understand, receive, because the thing is, when you start overthinking, it's a use of our energy in a not very productive way. So we burn this, and that causes I call it mental overwhelm and burnout.
yeah.
And now when I look at your charts, so within each chart or body graph, energetic blueprint, human design, whatever you want to call it, there are 9 energy centers, which loosely correlates to Hindu chakra points, right? So when I look at your chart, you have an open head and an open root. So open means you don't have consistent energy in there. And these centers are activated by people around you or by the planets in transits. So for example, if you have an open head, you may be picking up ideas, thoughts, um, stresses and worries of those around you. So the first thing you really need to kind of understand is that it's not your energy, it's not your worries, it's not your concern, it's not your ideas most of the time. And be fluid with your thinking, play with it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
is this my idea or somebody planting it in my head? And the way you will know is by listening to your gut. Your gut as a sacral being, with that sacral, as a generator, your gut will tell you, it's a feeling that you're like, oh, it might not be my idea, but oh my God, it feels so good. I'm going to go write a post or create a launch
Mm-hmm.
in it. Or it's like, yeah, I've got this idea. I feel like, well, I think I should do that because that's what people want to hear, but I feel so much resistance. Do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and because of the open head, as I said, your energy, your thoughts, your ideas, you can't hold on to something consistent. It always changes. And because of your open root, it's the pressure to do things. So it's the pressure
Mm-hmm.
to think and a pressure to do. And you end up like being this like pressure cooker where you're like thinking and doing, thinking and doing, thinking and doing. And even for manifesting generators, it's exhausting. It's exhausting for everyone um, being under constant pressure. And which is why I always recommend having those pauses throughout your day where you literally just sit and do nothing, or go for a walk without
Mm-hmm.
without anything in your ears, just you, or meditate quietly. Because during that time, that's when you get your inspiration. That's when you get your ideas. That's when you get intuitive nudges, knowing what is the next thing for me to do. And you may find that instead of writing lists to do and trying to get through it, you wouldn't need to, because you may not need to do those things on the list, because maybe something else intuitively will come, and by acting on that you'll be so much more productive than keeping up with the lists.
Mm-hmm. That's
Does
a
that
very
make
good advice.
sense?
Yeah, it does. I think I intuitively I do that. When I get overwhelmed, and like you say, I love the description of pressure cooker. I do go for a walk, or I just get up from my desk and kind of sit still for 10 minutes. So I guess I don't do it on a regular basis, but it's brilliant advice to almost put it in your calendar to, take those breaks, and try and recharge, or just, sit still and just filter through, right? The information and that gut feeling, and whatever is coming up.
Exactly. And it's a process. It's not something you
Mm-hmm.
like do once. It's consistency, right? Like with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you almost like maybe want to have an alarm that goes off every like hour and just check, am I in a state of flow? Like, am I in my head? Am I overthinking? Am I like contracting? Or am I
Mm-hmm.
feeling expansive? Am I in a state of flow? And having the discipline and courage actually to step away when you're not feeling yourself, right?
Yeah.
So for manifesting generators, it's really important for them to get into that state of flow is not to initiate. It's almost firstly respond to whatever is showing in the outer reality. Remember, decisions don't come from
Mm-hmm.
the head. This is inspiration. This is questions. This is creativity. But decisions normally manifest in our outer reality or as an inner knowingness when you like know, you don't know how,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't come from your head. It comes from within your soul, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So once you have this kind of response to something, before taking an action on that, and that's a crucial step, crucial, it can save you
Yeah.
a lot of energy and time and money and
Mm-hmm.
everything, to pause and inform people who are going to be affected by these decisions, people who are involved. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, like you and in your family watching film, and you feel like I want to have popcorn, and you're off in a car and you go, and everybody's like, where on earth did she go?
Mm-hmm.
They're like getting frustrated, waiting for you to come back. But in the meantime, you wanted to do something good for your family. So before jumping to the car, just tell them, like, guys, I'm going to get popcorn. And as a result of informing others, first of all, they will understand you, they understand what you do.
Mm-hmm.
When people understand, they relate to you
Mm-hmm.
differently. They're not going to just go, oh, she's starting this again and that, and I can't keep up, and creates resentment, frustration. And the
Mm-hmm.
second important thing is they're not going to get on your way, because, like people want to help you sometimes, like, can I help you with this? And you're like, no, I'm fine. Because for
Mm-hmm.
you, when you get into that state of flow instead of passion, it's like a non-verbal communication. It's that multi-passion, and it's like your
Mm-hmm.
whole body just wants to go and do that. So when people offer you their help, you're like, why are you on my way? Stop slowing me down.
Mm-hmm.
So by just taking that little pause and telling people what you about, what you know up to, that will make a big difference and will manage your energy in a correct way. So remember responding, and then if it feels good, you then go and take the action before, but firstly informing others.
Hmm.
Does that make
That's,
sense?
yeah, yeah, that's actually a brilliant piece of advice. I can see how it can start changing my everyday life almost. Definitely.
And
I do tend to feel like I have to do everything by myself. And like you say, you either flow or you fight, right? If you don't flow,
in the resistance.
you always experience resistance. And when there is resistance, there is push. And if there is a push, there is often attack as well, right? So it makes perfect sense, yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And the last thing I want to touch on is your authority. So in human design, there are kind of three key elements, which is your energy type, it's your
Hmm.
strategy, and your strategy is to respond and then inform. And then the third is your authority. So authority is your inner decision making mechanism or process. The the problem is, you know, being in this kind of environments in a workplace, in business, and in life, we often feel under pressure to make decisions. And unless we are
Hmm.
aware of correct way of making decisions, we make hasty decisions based on our reactions rather than responses. And then we
Hmm.
take actions. And then often we end up repeating past mistakes or creating results that we've created before. So nothing that new manifests in our life. Okay.
Hmm.
And a lot of it has to do because we give our power away. We give our power to society, to our friends, to our colleagues, seeking that validation and approval. So then how do you begin to make decisions correctly? How do you then stand in your truth and in your power? You speak authentically, you know, with integrity, knowing exactly who you are. And that's where inner authority comes in. Now, not all of us, majority of us are, but not all of us designed to make decisions in an instant. For some people, like for myself, it is. And for me, it's like a sacral pool. It's like my whole body goes, yes. And the
Hmm.
more you work with it, the more, you know, tuned you are into it, the clearer it becomes, the more, you know, powerful these messages are. You can't almost ignore them. But for you, because you have an emotional authority, for you, it's really important to wait for this emotional wave to kind of end. And the emotional wave can be collective, it can be individual, it can be just a gradual build up and then you explode, or it can be up and
Hmm.
so it really depends, you know, on how you're designed. But just on a kind of broad spectrum is whenever you are about to make a decision, and I don't mean like decision like what I'm going to have for dinner, but maybe, you know, to work with a certain client, right? Or maybe launch that offer, even if it excites you and your whole body goes, hell yes, but it's for the first time you responding to it or you feeling into that idea, don't rush to make it. Wait. You may never have clarity on things. The chances are you probably won't. You may have like 60, 70% of clarity, but it's important that you wait, maybe like sleep on it, and then keep on feeling into it. You know, how does it feel for me? Does it feel,
Hmm.
I mean, it can still feel scary, but good, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, going speaking on a stage in front of thousands of people, you know, that's your next step in life, but it terrifies you, but you feel like, this is it, I've got to do it,
Hmm.
which is great.
Hmm.
Or like, no, I just don't see it. It just feels so hard. And then, you know, so you kind of keep on tapping into what would it
Hmm.
feel for me? Not what do I think, what would others think? It's always about me, always bringing it back to your center, to your heart. How would I feel? How would I feel? And then, you know, you slept in it. The next day, you're like, right, okay, this is the right decision. This is when you're sacral. Then it's like a body move. Your body starts talking to you. You're like, you can feel it in your gut. And you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you make a decision. So, it's never rushing, never being under pressure to say yes or no to something because
Hmm.
it's, you know, when we do that, when we succumb under this peer pressure and we say yes to things that feel like no and no to what feels like yes, and we start compromising our integrity, self-worth, and it takes tremendous amount of energy because it always takes so much more energy to be who we are not than who we are. So by following your strategy, you begin to you begin to kind of free up that energy within your body and really kind of discern, get rid of whatever no longer serves you. And the more
Hmm.
is the more space literally around you in your field you create within your body, you know, the more calmer you would feel. and the most incredible synchronicities and opportunities would truly like come into your life. And I've seen it over and over and over again. It's just incredible.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Fabulous. Yeah, that's a brilliant advice. You think I think nothing feels better than feeling just really aligned with who you are, right? And like you say, being in this constant state of flow and feeling like, yes, this is me. I'm doing this because it feels right. I'm acting from, I'm following my values. I'm not doing anything against my values and my highest good, I suppose. So yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
exactly. And then, obviously we are humans, right? So we're all going to have
Mm,
bad days. We all, because, we're going to be influenced by others, energy of others, the planets in transit. So for sometimes, it's okay to feel like shit. It's okay to
mm,
be like sad or frustrated. But the
absolutely.
beauty is with human design, because you've got that literal tool in front of you, you can, like, I sometimes struggle with fear, like fear of the future or fear of the past, and previously, like, I wouldn't have a coping mechanism. So
Mm-hmm.
now when I get that and understand what activates me or who activates me also, I can look at my chart and I can actually go into these energies. And then if I look, the moon in transit and what's activating and my life purpose and my soul purpose and all of that, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it just takes so much, I guess, pressure and self-judgment.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say what's wrong with me, why am I so crap at doing that? You become more compassionate and more self-aware. And that I find is a big help, right? Because we all need that kind of
Mm.
support, I think, on a side, as many tools as we can have, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So in my coaching practice, I often teach people also to tap into their awareness. And one of the things we do is just check in daily with yourself. So I just got so inspired by what you said, because if someone has this map in front of them and they really understand who they are, how they use their energy, what influences them, this could be a brilliant tool for checking in with yourself every day, right? And
Absolutely.
mm,
Yeah. And just even following your strategy, even without knowing all the channels and gates and
yeah.
how energy, just understanding how you're meant to use your energy, whether you actually have that initiating energy, if you're waiting to respond, or if you need to be invited into,
Mm,
into opportunities. It will save some people from disappointments and anger and frustration and bitterness.
mm-hmm,
Um, so yeah, no, yeah, I believe it's a game changer, when it comes to our self-awareness. It's probably one of the best tools I've ever come across, definitely.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Brilliant.
do you have any questions for me at this moment?
No, no, no. It was brilliant. It was. I remember we spoke about it a few months ago, but I didn't probably. Oh, I registered. You said I feel better in smaller groups.
Yes, that's
There
your
was a yeah,
profile. That's
yeah.
right. So that's your profile. So
Mm,
profile is basically, it's like a
there's
costume
something
that
else.
you wear in this life. It's how you show
Mm-hmm,
up, and also tells us a lot about how you make decisions and how you learn and
mm-hmm,
express yourself. And your profile is 2-4, meaning that you're a hermit. So in your conscious, because you obviously do things consciously and subconsciously, right? So in your
mm-hmm,
conscious profile is a line 2. It's all about being like a hermit, someone who needs time to step away from everything and everyone and integrate that knowledge,
mm.
and figure things out on their own. It's imperative. I mean, you really need that,
Yeah,
I think.
thought. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. But then as a line 4 in your subconscious, so this is basically where line 4, it's all about stability, foundation, networking groups. And I don't mean like big networking groups. It means
Mm-hmm,
like your groups. It's your people. It's people who you can get something from and people who
mm-hmm,
get something from you. And it's almost like, again, this boundaries become extremely important because you don't want everybody in that group. You don't say yes to people just for the sake of growing your social media following or by having
mm-hmm,
messaging you. It's like being, is this my person? What can I get out of them? It's almost to that point where you really have to be so selfish Because if it's a wrong person, they're going to draw a wrong energy from you. They're going to leave you depleted, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can fulfill your potential. So, and these are also going to be the kind of people who will then come to you and say, "Hey, Carolina, I think it's enough. Come out, tell us what you've been
Mm-hmm.
up to." Because as a line too, you are so natural at sharing things. It's just living your life. It just comes like it's like a flow. You
Mm-hmm.
just love it. But obviously, you still need to do something with it.
Yeah.
And that's when your time alone comes into, because you're so natural at it, you don't even realize it. So
Mm-hmm.
when the people come to you, your people, they draw you out, and this is when you can, then share it with them, with your people, with your group,
Mm-hmm.
and what you're doing with your business, with having a Facebook group. That's exactly the right thing. You just maybe, just like revisit or just have a look. Who's the person that's not lighting me up, and maybe release
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brilliant advice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm sure we can all
Yeah.
release people from our groups and from our lives. So
Yeah, cool. So do you do this for everybody, or how can people get in touch with you?
yeah, so I mean,
A
obviously
little.
on Instagram, I will be doing, this kind of more frequent.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking actually, so if anybody watching and recording on live, I'm actually looking for projectors and reflectors and generators. So it'd be nice to go do different energy types so I can,
Mm-hmm.
definitely have a session. Otherwise, I offer in-depth human design chart reading. We're also going to the life purpose and soul purpose planetary alignments. And that's a one-on-one 90-minute call and coaching, because it's like going to the gym, right? You can
Mm.
go and just coach shows you how to lift those dumbbells, and then you lift on your own and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
nothing changes. Or it's a
Mm.
constant support, whether it's for personal needs, to improve communication, or for
Mm-hmm.
coaching, etc. And yeah, and then I work with corporates. I offer the workshops there. But I wanted to share something quite exciting, and I see you already signed up, so thank you for your support.
Mm-hmm.
This Friday, I was actually invited to speak at the Success from the Start Summit, and my speaking slot is at 7:30 p.m. UK, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the topic is more energy, less overwhelm. And that's going to be going kind of more deeper into energy types. What does it mean to be each energy type? And how do we show up at work, in our business, and in our life? So it's 30 minutes time slots. I mean, 30 minutes long, so not a big chunk out of your day. And if you guys want to come and, hear me talk, then click on the link in my bio or just send me a message. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
so that's it. Well, it was lovely to
Well,
talk to
thank you. Yeah,
you.
thank
I
you for
hope it
having
was
me.
informative. It's a pleasure. You were my first guest, and I'm very excited to carry
Yay.
on. Cool. All right. I will speak to you
Thank you
later.
so much.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.